For the first time, we're seeing buffs and nerfs coming to hero equipment. Coming in early September, we're going to have the first changes to hero equipment. This is kind of controversial, but also pretty needed for some of these equipments. We're going to talk about all the changes and what they mean, along with the reasons behind them here today. And let's start with one of the most OP pieces of hero equipment, the giant gauntlet. It's going to be getting various nerfs, unfortunately. Starting with the self-healing. At max level, we have a self-healing of 44 per second. That's going to be nerfed down to 40 per second. Almost a 10% change there. That's going to be affected from levels 20 all the way up to 27, with the smallest change at levels 20 and 21 being only 2.5%, give or take a little bit. But we will see less self-healing on the gauntlet, along with less DPS, starting at levels 19 all the way down to level 27. At level 27, we're going to see an 11% change from 180 DPS down to 160. So a pretty significant nerf there. And then the biggest concern I have is the damage block. The damage reduction is getting nerfed. At max level, it is 60%. It's going to be going down to 55%. At level 14, or at level 21 rather, which is Town Hall 14, it's going to be from 50% down to 45%. So pretty much a 10% change across all levels on that damage reduction. And that's what makes this giant gauntlet really, really good. So that's our first nerf coming to hero equipment, and really one of the strongest pieces of hero equipment that everyone uses. And the primary factor behind these nerfs are just the high win rate and the high use rate with the giant gauntlet. But moving on from a nerf, let's talk about a buff coming to earthquake boots. This is going to be at all levels for this first one, the damage radius. The reasons behind this for the earthquake boots is low win rate and low use rate. A lot of people just not using it. So the damage radius is actually going to go up from 6 tiles to 8 tiles. So it's going to be more of a bigger earthquake there. The earthquake boots are also going to get more damage percent as well, from levels 9 all the way up to max level of 18, going from 50% that we see here at max level all the way up to 60%. So a pretty significant change there, giving a 20% more boost at the maximum level, and even down at the lower levels, 35% to 40%. So pretty significant changes for the damage percent. And then also we're going to have HP increase getting changed as well. At level 13 through 18, getting a buff there. We see that the HP increase is 1913. It's actually going to go up to 2500. It's going to make that king way more beefy. This is a 30% increase at the highest levels. So will this make earthquake boots a little bit more usable? I mean, it's definitely tempting. That damage is there, the HP is there, along with that, the earthquake radius. It definitely seems more tempting to use the earthquake. Let's go from a buff back into another nerf of the spiky ball. The reasons behind these nerfs: very high win rate, especially on lower town hall levels. I mean, I'm using it here on my town hall 16, and we're talking about the number of bounces. So at the max level here, we see that we have 9 bounces in there. And actually in the notes here, it says that we have 8 bounces going down to 7. I wonder if it's 8 going down to 9. Are my notes incorrect here? I'm not sure, but essentially all levels are going to be losing 1 bounce here, with some of the lower levels actually going down significantly. It says levels 4, 5, and 6, even 7, from 5 bounces down to 2 and 3. So this is actually going to be a huge nerf, especially at the lower town hall levels. That one is very, very interesting. The notes are a little bit off here, but I'm assuming it's going to go down 1 because we got 9 bounces. If it goes down to 7, that's a pretty significant change, and that would be really disappointing for the spiky ball. I guess we'll have to keep an eye on this one when the update comes out for it. Into another buff, we're going to have Barbarian Puppets getting some changes here. At all levels, the ability duration is going to be increased from 10 seconds to 20 seconds. That's actually pretty massive. So 20 seconds on the rage, and then also on all levels, the spawn rate is going to be 5 for every half second. So they're going to spawn in just a little bit quicker there. And then we're going to also have an HP increase at the highest level. We see right here, it's 2550. That's actually going to go up to 3060. So a 20% increase there. So a little bit of HP increases in there for the Barbarian Puppet. I like this one quite a bit. But again, the reason behind this: low win rate, low use rate. I mean, like, no one uses Barbarian Puppet. So a pretty big change there. I don't know if it's enough that we'll see it over some of the other equipments, but I guess we'll keep an eye on that. And we're going to move over to the queen, and we're going to stick with the puppets here. The archer puppet is actually going to have at all levels a faster spawn rate. Again, reasons behind this: low win rate, low use rate. So we're going to have a faster spawn rate for them, 5 per 1 second. I don't know if that's necessarily faster, but that's just what the spawn rate will be. And then we'll have the archer invisibility duration, which is none. The archers are actually going to be able to be invisible. That's actually insane. At the highest level, it's going to be 6.5 seconds. So all the archers will be invisible also. That's pretty tricky, guys. That's pretty tricky. Does it make it overly usable? I think it'll make it more usable, that's for sure. Archer Puppet getting a pretty big change. And a nerf coming to one of my favorite queen equipments, the Frozen Arrow. Unfortunate. So the frost percent is going to be decreased here at pretty much all levels, 1 through 27. At the highest level, we have a slowdown percent of 75%. That's going to go down to 65%, and it's pretty uniform throughout. At the lowest level, level 1, it's going to be from 30 down to 25, and then kind of everything in between, like level 18, from 60 to 50%. So just reducing that slowdown percent there for the Frozen Arrow. So not overly overwhelming, but it is going to allow those defenses and those targets just to fire just a little bit more than the 75% reduction, which is actually really nice, like when facing enemy heroes and stuff. High win rate, high use rate, again, the reasons behind this. The Warden is getting nerfed next, and I didn't think we would see this, but the Eternal Tome is getting nerfed down to 8 seconds at max level. That's crazy. That's a 1.5 second duration decrease there. It's a 15% decrease. And even at like mid levels here, it's going to be across all levels, but like say level 12, it's going to go from 8 seconds to 7 seconds. Even at level 11, 5.5 seconds down to 5.25 seconds. So some pretty significant changes. Along levels 1 through 5, no changes there, just small changes kind of working our way up. So Eternal Tome getting a nerf for the Warden. High use rate, high win rate, especially on the high town halls. Makes sense. Like, everyone uses Eternal Tome. A piece of Warden equipment that doesn't see a lot of play, the Life Gem is getting a buff here. So at levels 1 all the way through 18, we're going to get more max HP. So right now we got 725. It's going to go up to 870 at max level. Pretty much every level is getting a 20% increase. Reason behind it, low use rate, low win rate. I mean, with the Apprentice Wardens, I don't know that we see this get used a lot more. I mean, it is a pretty significant change, but also, like, we have Apprentice Wardens, so I don't know. It's good to see Life Gem get a buff, but I just don't know that we see it get used a lot more after this. Just kind of firing off the cuff here. We'll see. We'll see. And the Warden's Healing Tome with its high win rate is getting nerfed. That's unfortunate. So the duration at maximum level is 25 seconds. That's getting nerfed down to 20 seconds. Pretty significant nerf there. 20% decrease, and pretty much all levels from level 1 to 18 are getting a reduction at some point here. Currently at like level 1, it's 16 seconds, going to go down to 15 seconds. Like level 12 will have 22 seconds down to 19 seconds. So every level is going to have less of that healing effect on there. This is sad for me. I love the Healing Tome. Probably my favorite piece of equipment for the Warden, getting a big nerf. But that's not all. Even the Rage Gem is getting nerfed. High win rates on the lower town halls are the reason behind this. The damage boost is getting nerfed, and it's not at all levels. It's actually levels 1 through 14. The damage boost is getting reduced. So at levels 15, 16, 17, 18, it's actually going to stay the same, 50% here. At max level, it's actually going to stay the same. But at level 14, it's going to go from 40% down to 35% on that damage increase. And then like at mid-level there, like 40. So at level 12, 13, 14, it's 40 down to 35. At levels 11, 9, 10, 11, from 35 down to 30. And then 6, 7, 8, 30 down to 25, etc. all the way down the line. So a pretty big change coming to the Rage Gem. I don't really use this one a lot. Let me know what you guys think of Rage Gem reduction down there in the comments. And I think if we all were being real with ourselves, we knew that the Haste Vial was going to be getting nerfed. At all levels of the Haste Vial, the duration is going to be reduced. So it is currently 12 seconds for the Haste Vial at max level. It's going down to 10 seconds when this update comes out, these balance changes when they do come out. For instance, at level 12, it's going to go from 11 seconds down to 9. I guess that's 12, 13, and 14 are all the same there. And then 15, 16, 17 are 11.5 down to 9.5. Let's see, 6, 7, 8 from 10 seconds down to 8 seconds. So just major reductions on the haste vial. One of the strongest pieces of equipment, the highest win rate equipment for the world champions. Town Halls 15 to 16 were the reasons behind these ones. But it's not just all nerfs. The rocket spear is actually getting a buff. The attack count is getting an increase at pretty much all levels. The levels 1 through 8, it's going to go from 5 up to 7. And then at levels 9 through 17, it's going to go from 6 up to 8. And then levels 18 through 26, it's going to go from 7 to 9 attacks. And then finally at level 27, it'll go from 8 to 10. So 40% down to 25%, but massive buffs on the amount of the rocket spears being thrown. So that's actually pretty big. Reason behind it, low use rate, low win rate. Kind of makes sense. Not a lot of people using the rocket spear, especially at the higher town halls. It's all a haste vial hog puppet. So yeah, pretty interesting. And speaking of that hog puppet, the troop level is actually going to be reduced. So at max level over here, we see that the hogs are level 13. They're actually going to be reduced down to level 11 at max level. And then at levels 15, 16, 17, they're going to go from levels 11 down to 9. At levels 12, 13, 14, from level 11 down to 8. So a significant change to the hogs here. Levels 9, 10, 11, from hog level 9 down to 7. Some pretty like drastic reductions on the hogs there. I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to affect things, but losing 2 levels on all the hogs, it's actually pretty massive there. Maybe we'll see a change of hero equipment for the world champion when this comes out. But it's not all just hero equipment coming with this balance change. One of our all-time favorite spells, well, spammers' favorite spells, I know mine, the overgrowth. Getting a couple of changes here. So at maximum level, it lasts 28 seconds. That's going to be reduced down to 25 seconds. So 3 seconds off of that. All levels getting a little bit of a reduction. I guess level 1 does not get a reduction, but level 2 gets a 1 second reduction. Level 3 gets a 2 second reduction. And then all levels will get a smaller radius from 7 tiles down to 6 tiles. High win rate, high use rate is the reason behind it. Makes sense. Everyone's using overgrowth. Just a little bit of a nerf there. 3 seconds, is that enough to make a difference? I guess we'll see. I know I'll probably still try to force overgrowth. Let's be honest with ourselves. But that's not all. Max level Valkyries are getting an HP reduction from 2800 HP down to 2600. They're being used with the Root Riders with the overgrowths. So it's going to make them just a little bit more squishy, just reducing their hit points a little bit at the maximum level. High use rate, high win rate, reason behind this. Basically, every part of the Root Rider Valkyrie attack is getting nerfed. The Druids, their bounce on the healing is getting reduced down from 4 bounces to 3. So that bounce where it bounces around and heals different units, it's going to be 1 less at all different levels there. So that's a little bit unfortunate for the Druids. And when I mean all parts, I mean all parts. Even the super barbarians are getting a little bit less DPS, from 260 DPS to 250 at maximum level. Only the max level is the level effective for the super barbarians. There's also going to be changes coming to the siege machine donation cap, where pretty much across all the different levels, we're going to see some changes on the siege donations. So that's something that'll come out when this all comes, but pretty significant changes coming to the hero equipment and the Root Rider Valkyrie Druid attack along with the overgrowth. Let me know what you guys think of these. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. You guys have a great day. Keep on clash bashing.